Well, today I will talk about a conducted urban observation that I made in Plaza de Armas, Durango. Well, I visited the site at 5:30 p.m. on a weekday during a moderate pedestrian activity while using William White's framework and Jane Hell's human scale principles and analyze how people actually use the space rather than how it's intended to be. So the Plaza de Armas contains approximately 180 linear feet of fixed bench seating distributed along the perimeter and central zones. However, I observed that users frequently prefer planar edges and low steps facing pedestrian circulation. According to Whites, people prefer to sit where they can watch other people. The most occupied sitting face movement corridors, they're not isolated green areas. Well, as the sun shifted westward, sitting patterns shifted as well during peak heat. Shaded arcades were preferred as temperature-cooled individuals migrated forward to sun-lit benches. That confirms White's observations of that how people follow the sun and Gell's emphasis on microclimate comfort. Okay. A balloon vendor and a street musician acted as triangulation devices. Strangers gather around the stimulate in initiating his conversations. Um, Children interacting with vendors created a temporary social clusters, and the cathedral facade also functioned as a visual anchor, strengthening orientation in social congregation. Well, we talk about the edges. The plaza is framed by active commercial edges, and the cathedral transparent transparent storefronts increase pedestrian pauses, while institutional facades generated minimal interaction. That consisted with Gel's theory, soft edges encourage lingering. So as we can see, this is how the commercial floors with large windows, they come as a visual connection with the interior of the plaza. Here with the when the people come in, there's like food services, restaurants, clothes stores, more. And for the low transparency, we have solid walls that are openings for institutional buildings. For instance, their government institutions installed right across the street, so they sometimes they host community events, and they bring important national or traditional artists to perform for free for the community. Sometimes the state of Durango likes to do that. They sponsor everything. Okay. Well, the users included elderly residents, families, teenagers, vendors, tourists, and dogs. They act as social connectors, and activity types range from necessary movement to optional sitting and fully social interaction. Once a month in the state of Durango, they close the street over here, so they prevent motor vehicles to drive in this street because they do Sunday community marathons with and where they invite the community to walk instead of drive, and they can bring roller skates, bikes. They call it un rol de Durango, and basically it's just to walk freely without vehicles and traffic, so they can create social connectors and they get help the community with engaging and the whole area. Okay, my mapping identified three high density nodes where there are near vendors, the cathedral entrance, and the shaded benches, dead zones that appear near blank facades. So if we go back where the cathedral is, there's multiple benches and there are multiple near blank facades. This is a kiosco that helps the primary flow and stationary anchors. There are high density nodes that are considered as intersections. So I also put the kiosco here. Well, this study confirms that White's central argument, public life depends less on how form and more on human behavior. The success of Plaza de Armas lies in its sitting ability, active edges, and triangulation elements. When design supports human scale and microclimate comfort, optional activities increase, transforming a space into a place. And that'll be all for this presentation. Thank you.